Merry Christmas. This is a message out to Vincent Aluzzi, Bernie Sanders, Trevor Colby, Vermont State Police, Daniel Lynch, Real Robillard, Homeland Security, Border Patrol Supervising Agent Jeff Hare, and everybody else involved in taking my children, sex trafficking them, and hidden information that led to the dismissal of lawsuits. Reconsideration is in the works. Dismissals of all of what you did to myself and my daughter, those have already come about. Dismissed, dismissed, dismissed. That's right. I talked to Angel to verify that the last bout of criminal charges against my daughter, frivolous criminal charges that led to my grandson being illegally taken from my daughter, and all of the frivolous activity, burning of my cars, my daughter's cars, my homes, taking my grandson into state custody and giving him to a pervert that was having sex with my daughter when she was only like 12, 13, and he was in his 20s. That would be Kevin Bickford of 109 Railroad Street. It's all in the paperwork at the Guildhall Courthouse. Now you listen to what I had for a conversation with Angel, verifying everything that I'm telling you, and then some. Mind you, Brianna and I, my daughter, filed lawsuits about what they had done to her and to me. As a result, out of retaliation, this is what happened.
Hindered an executive officer, Department for Children and Families, employee Kara Worth or Colleen Carpenter, or both, acting under the authority of the state or any subdivision thereof, the Department for Children and Families to take physical custody of J.K., who was in legal custody of the Department for Children and Families, in violation of 13 BSA 3001A. Count 2 reads, Brianna Knight in the County of Essex Island Pond in the town of Brighton on or about May 27th of 2021, hindered a law enforcement officer from Vermont State Police Trooper Daniel Leach, acting under authority of the state or any subdivision thereof, and acting pursuant to an order of the Family Division of the Vermont Superior Court to take physical custody of J.K. and transfer his physical custody to the Department for Children and Families, child's legal custodian, in violation of 13 BSA 3001A.
Okay, and I'm sorry, my pen wasn't right. And can you just tell me one more time that case number of closure, please?
This case is docket 21-CR04238.
Okay, and that is confirmed dismissed. Who was the public defender on that? By the way, this is Guildhall, Vermont. Vincent Aluzzi, who's been trying to kill my family for a long time, since 2007.
Sean Lundergan, last name spelled Londergan.
Okay. I requested investigation. That concludes that one. Now on my
into
Vincent
The
Aluzzi.
amount on the arrest warrant I'm showing is $200, cash or surety.
Okay. And so,
If
go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Usually if a person appears during court hours, we would let the court know that you're here, whether they would like you to post the bail and then come a different day, or if you come that day, they'll take the hearing up.
Okay, can you give me that case number, please?
Yep. Your case number is 21-CR-02319.
And that was also Daniel Lynch from State Police, right? Jeff Barrier. That was Kevin Bickford calling in a false complaint, and the judge already verified that it was a false complaint. That means Daniel Lynch wrote a false report, which is leading to more Vermont State Police. You're under scrutiny and a lawsuit.
Was it Amanda Kitchen or something like that? Amanda Kitchen, I believe, is her name. From
Robin Hood law firm, and then she had a court date to withdraw and never showed up. What do we do about all that?
I think that would be something that would be taken up once we have a hearing in regards to your arrest warrant.
All right. So if I send you over $200, can you do up the paperwork?
We would have to talk to the judge in regards to the $200.
Or if Bree was to come in and pay the $200, does that squash it? Is that a court date?
Again, that would be up to the judge. I'd have to, once we receive the $200, we would contact the judge.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, we'll
Okay.
see to it that gets done real soon, Angel.
Okay.
So the other thing is, can you see what's going on with an Orleans case, or do I have to call them? Because Mr. Kevin Bigford, during this time, back in April, he was pulled over for DUI of methamphetamines, or DWI, whatever they call it there in Vermont. And when I called a couple months ago, they said they weren't done with the report yet. That was well after April. That was back in July.
I can give you the number to the Orleans court.
Okay, that's good.
334.
Okay.
3325.
All right, and any recollection on what's going on with Mr. Jeffrey Noyce? Is he still in the cuckoo house?
Let me check on that one. I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Jeffrey Noyce sexually assaulted the girls in Island Pond, and this is why I get charged.
Held on October 15th. At that October 15th hearing, the court said that they had previously assigned counsel to take the deposition of the alleged victim for reasons which are not clear. That never happened. The court is assigning Mr. Malone for the limited purposes of taking the alleged victim's deposition. The deposition should take place in the next 60 days.
Did that take place?
That 60 days would be from October 17th.
So that would be 60
So that
days
was
today.
That would be just today. So we don't have any information at this time.
Okay, so I'll call you back at the end of the week for that.
So ex-chief of police Jeff Noyce still getting away with sexually assaulting girls.
Have a public defender or a representative. State's attorney Vincent Aluzzi, he's the subject of that. Why isn't he being investigated for any of this?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay. Just a couple more questions. Who would I contact about a probate marriage that took place between a Brenda Lovell from Maitland, who was previously married to a chief of police Lee Rice Jr., and she divorced him to marry my husband, William Asher, who married her under a false name, and that would have been back in 96, 97.
While he was still married to me.
That out because Brenda Lovell is right there from that same area, Maitland, Guildford, Guildhall, Essex County.
Hope you're listening, William.
She claimed death benefits on William Asher, so we're trying to find out what
Willie.
did she marry
Billy.
William Asher under, because he was under
Bill.
a false name at that time. He was not under his
Jason Sims.
Identity of William Asher.
Danny Mitchell
Let's see
Stevens.
information to that's prudent, because I just got my inside edition tape that proves and provides him speaking and giving all the other information about his aliases that he used. But he's still very well alive and well here in New Hampshire. And the fact is, Brenda Lovell, she was claiming death benefits on him for that child that she raised.
Where would they have gotten married?
They would have gotten married in, probably in Maitland, or I don't know. I don't believe it was very elaborate. But
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd probably look under Brenda Lovell or Brenda Rice.
I would probably have to give you the number to let me take a look here.
Okay.
For marriage certificate information, depending on where they got married, if they got married in Vermont, you could call Vital Records in Vermont.
Okay.
and they may be able to assist you. That number is the vital records phone number for their office is one.
Does he have another hearing date after, or do we have to wait until after today to find out?
At this time, no, we don't have another court date set.
2007, when they played the same game with me that they did with Bree and taken my children. Who was it that was supposed to? Who were the defendants? The ones that broke into my home and got away with it. Do you still have that docketed case? They said it was in the front page of the newspaper, and then it disappeared off the radar. So obviously it was a setup because they killed my daughter's bird. They vandalized my whole home, and then the conspired situation of Michael Knox, who was the principal, that's again been arrested for raping a girl. All of that stuff got hidden and wiped right off the radar, and the case got closed. But I want to know who it was. I have the right to know who broke into my home, and Vincent Aluzzi wouldn't allow me to have that information. That's part of
do you know who the defendant was? Who was charged?
No, because they had me in court on behalf of DCF, and then the following week there were subpoenaed people to appear in court for the week of January 2008. And Billy Bone herself, she was subpoenaed as a witness, but she didn't even know who they were claiming. It was just the fact that she had found my apartment vandalized. So she was a witness to it, but they never gave her any information either, who was the defendant in the case. And like I said, it was in the front page of the newspaper that there were 2 eyewitnesses to the people coming out of my home. So they did get charged, but Vincent Aluzzi said that he didn't have an address for me, and I said, wait a minute, I was just in the courtroom with you back on Thursday, and here it is a week later, and you never mentioned anything to me. So they said that they didn't have my address, and that they couldn't, but they had the address because you guys were sending me paperwork every day.
So if it's a defendant that you're looking for information, I would have to have a name and date of birth.
Can you find out
if you're looking to?
There were charges filed. The state had picked up on the charges, and it was in May of 2007 because that was part of the conspired crime when they took my children and said that I had abandoned them and not seen or heard from me in months, when Mary Hare was actually at the graduation party just days before that.
So in order for me to look up anything, I would just, like I said, I would need to know the name of the defendant and the date of birth.
That's the whole thing, Angel. That's the hidden information. So I'm the victim in that. How do I go about?
Do you know what law agent?
Yeah,
do you know what law agency?
It was Teddy. Yeah, it was Teddy Miller, the constable Teddy Miller, and it was Vincent Aluzzi, who was the state's attorney, and at the same time, he was a state's attorney against me when he illegally took my children under those false pretenses, claiming that I had abandoned them and gave my children to Hollywood actors like Rio Robillard and Mary Hare's husband, Jeff Hare, one that sexually assaulted them.
Okay. So I'd have to refer you to the law enforcement. I don't know if VSP Derby in that area would be able to assist you.
Well, wasn't he under Essex or? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe is Trevor Colby in prison yet? I mean, I know he's in federal trouble for hiding the immigrants and helping them across the border and out of the country when they commit crimes like stealing my daughter's car and the shooting in Newport. That is still a mystery. But again, in the news, is he indicted on anything yet? I know he's on civil matter. Because he would have been in charge of all that information. He was in charge of the constable for Essex County, Island Pond at that time, as well as the town was. So, yeah, I take it back on Trevor Colby. Aiding and abetting information, he needs to be charged with that. So does Vincent Aluzzi for starting the fire in the courthouse back in April 20. I wasn't very smart. yeah, there's some information right there. Just like, all of these people are still the same ones. So he hid the information on the vandalism charge. Now I can't get the information on the defendants because I'm the victim. That doesn't make any sense. And I know it doesn't make sense to you either.
But that's the only thing I can suggest is if you have questions, you could reach out to law enforcement.
I'll try that. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I dare say Bernie Sanders, Vincent Aluzzi, and many, many others, you're all under scrutiny. And when my friends and their friends get a hold of this information, Trump isn't going to be happy.